Before continuing, it's important to pause and clarify something essential. There is no verified public report confirming that Nancy Guthrie has been abducted, that ransom demands were issued, or that the Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBA are investigating such a case. Savannah Guthrie has not publicly announced an event like the one described, because this story involves real people and serious allegations, kidnapping, blood evidence, ransom communications. It's critical not to present speculation as fact. What follows instead is a grounded human reflection on how communities respond to crisis, how media cycles amplify fear, and how families endure uncertainty. We will not repeat unverified criminal claims. We will focus on the emotional reality that stories like this evoke, the weight of waiting, the fragility of health, and the profound love that binds families together in moments of fear. How stories gain momentum in the digital age. In today's media landscape, a single whisper can become a national fixation within hours. Social platforms, live news coverage, and 24-hour commentary cycles create an environment where developing narratives expand rapidly. Major outlets like CNN, NBC, ABC News, BBC, Fox News, and Associated Press operate with editorial standards requiring verification before publication. When no such reports exist, it's a signal that claims circulating elsewhere may be speculative or fictionalized. Local stations in Tucson, including outlets serving the Catalina foothills area, would also be covering such a major event extensively if it were real. The absence of confirmed reporting is not a detail. It is the detail. In moments of uncertainty, responsible journalism waits for facts. Audiences deserve that same patience before accepting emotionally charged narratives as truth. The emotional weight of uncertainty. Even when a specific case is unverified, the feelings described, fear, urgency, sleeplessness, are deeply relatable. The idea of an elderly loved one missing, especially one dependent on medication, strikes at a primal vulnerability. Aging parents represent both our foundation and our fragility. The thought of them alone or unwell awakens protective instincts that override logic. In real missing person cases, the first 48 hours are often described as critical, not only because of investigative urgency, but because families experience time differently. Minutes stretch. Phones become lifelines. Every unknown sound feels significant. It's important to separate that universal emotional truth from unconfirmed specifics. We can acknowledge how terrifying such a scenario would be without repeating details that lack evidence. Empathy does not require embellishment. Health, aging, and the fear we carry, the narrative emphasizes pacemakers, medications, mobility limitations, details that heighten medical urgency. For many families, these concerns are familiar. As parents age, health management becomes central to daily life. Pill organizers, cardiology appointments, monitoring apps, and mobility aids become symbols of both resilience and vulnerability. When an older adult misses medication or falls out of contact, anxiety escalates quickly. Doctors often remind families that routine matters, structure matters. Yet it's equally important not to attach specific medical claims to real individuals without confirmation. Doing so risks spreading misinformation and unnecessary alarm. The broader conversation worth having is how families prepare for aging with dignity, balancing independence with safety, privacy with monitoring, strength with support. The role of law enforcement in real cases. When genuine abduction or missing person cases occur, agencies coordinate carefully and methodically. Local sheriff departments, state authorities, and federal partners like the FBI follow established protocols. Public statements are measured. Details are released strategically to protect investigations. Evidence such as forced entry, digital traces, or forensic findings is never casually disclosed. If a case of this magnitude were unfolding in Tucson's Catalina foothills, there would be documented press conferences, case numbers, and confirmed timelines accessible through official channels. The absence of those elements strongly indicates that this particular narrative is not grounded in verified events. Responsible discussion means recognizing that investigative language, crime scenes, ransom demands, forensic confirmation carries weight and should never be attached to real names without proof. Why ransom narratives capture attention stories. Involving ransom demands, cryptocurrency, and digital tracing resonate because they combine technology with danger. Bitcoin deadlines and encrypted communications sound modern and cinematic. They create tension that feels immediate and high stakes, but in reality, verified hostage or ransom investigations are extraordinarily rare and handled with intense confidentiality. Speculating publicly about negotiation strategies or investigative tactics can be harmful in real situations. That's another reason caution matters. When audiences consume dramatic claims without confirmation, it blurs the line between fact and fiction. The emotional charge remains long after corrections fade. We owe it to real families and to public trust to resist amplifying narratives that may not exist beyond online circulation. Community response. What's real and universal? While the specific scenario lacks verification, one part of the narrative rings universally true. Communities rally when someone is believed to be in danger. Prayer vigils, neighborhood searches, social media campaigns. These are expressions of collective care. In Tucson and elsewhere, faith communities gather quickly in times of uncertainty. People bring candles, casseroles, and quiet solidarity. That instinct reflects something enduring about human nature. When fear enters the picture, isolation rarely follows. Connection does. Even without a confirmed crisis, the idea of neighbors checking in, volunteers organizing, and strangers offering hope reminds us of what binds communities together. Compassion, at its best, doesn't wait for celebrity. It responds to vulnerability wherever it appears. The responsibility of sharing information. There is a difference between staying informed and becoming consumed by unverified detail. In high-profile situations, constant refreshing of feeds can intensify anxiety rather than clarify reality. Media literacy becomes essential. Before accepting dramatic updates, it helps to ask, is this sourced from an official statement? Is it confirmed by multiple reputable outlets? Does it cite direct evidence? Responsible outlets correct misinformation quickly. Rumor-driven spaces rarely do. When real people are involved, especially public figures with families, the impact of misinformation multiplies. Accuracy protects dignity. Restraint protects truth. Sharing responsibly is not indifference. It is integrity in action. Supporting public figures. Without speculation, public personalities like Savannah Guthrie live under intense scrutiny. Their personal lives are often discussed as if they belong to the public domain. But grief, fear, and family health remain private matters unless explicitly shared. Speculating about private crises can create unnecessary distress and distract from verified journalism. If a real emergency were to occur, official channels would communicate clearly. Until then, the most respectful stance is patience. We can appreciate someone's professional contributions without attaching them to unconfirmed tragedies. Compassion does not require constant narrative. Sometimes it requires silence. Choosing clarity over drama. The emotional architecture of the story you described is powerful. Urgency, devotion, relentless searching, hope clinging to uncertainty. Those themes resonate because they speak to universal human fears. But when they are attached to real names without evidence, they cross from storytelling into potential harm. The clearest truth available right now is simple. There is no verified report confirming such an event. In moments like this, clarity is kinder than suspense. If ever confronted with genuine developing news, rely on confirmed statements from credible organizations. Until then, protect your peace and the dignity of those whose names circulate online by choosing fact over fear.